Frank. Hi, it's Richard.
G'day, mate.
Look, I'm filming a show around the South Island and I need your help.
Convince me.
There's free food, okay? Are you in, fella?
He sounds pretty good to me. Count me in. Oh, Nin's bin. You feel like a crayfish. Want to stop?
Gee, there's nothing I'd like more than a crayfish. Crayfish in the fog, even. What a spot. G'day.
How you going?
Hey, mate.
We're after
Good.
a couple of those crays.
Oh, I can help you out with that for sure. The numbers are on the tails of the prices, guys. They're all caught and cooked this morning.
Beautiful.
Right, okay, that's meat.
Ooh, looking good.
How would you like them, guys? Natural with lemon or hot with homemade garlic butter?
Garlic butter for me.
Yeah, make that too.
Good choice.
How did the wee shack get its name?
Nin's Bin's got its name in 1977. We had a lady called Vera Matthews who worked for my grandfather. Her nickname was Nin, and so as the years progressed, I'm taking a bin of crays over to Nin, or Nin would like a bin of crays, so therefore it became Nin's Bin.
Oh, Ricky, that was beautiful.
Oh,
fantastic.
yes.
Now, I've remembered that I've forgotten. If it makes sense, I need 2 more for the dinner I'm cooking tonight.
Not a
If
worry.
I can take those 2, just wrap up, I'll take them away.
Not a worry there.
Great. That smells good, doesn't
Doesn't it?
Tastes even better.
it? Right. Okay. Thanks,
Good
fella.
man.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Will do.
I'm looking forward to this.
Tell me about it. Right. What's our plan?
Right, well, I've got a bit of a big afternoon, so I wouldn't mind a hand with shopping again, actually,
Yeah, yeah.
Frank. I've got to drive all the way up to the Rutherford farm to pick up some of that good, pure South lamb again, because I'll be cooking tonight at the Marble Point Winery.
Oh, sounds good. Got any special guests?
Yeah, we've got Christchurch Mayor Bob Parker and a local food and travel writer, a fella by the name of Richard Tapper. So it should be a good evening, I reckon.
Sounds
but
like fun.
Just one meal at a time, eh? Shall we deal with this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we are in Kaikoura, Frank. Here's your list.
All right.
That's for shopping. I'll see you in Hanma.
I'll get on to it.
Good on you. Take care. Have a good
You
time.
too. Cheers.
Cheers.
This afternoon I found myself out at the Kaikoura Adventure Park. It's 15 minutes out of town, here at the Five View Ranch. The ride I'm about to take is the mountain cart luge. I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently, it's the only one of its kind in the world. Right, got my gear, been inducted, here we go. You gone. They call this the magic carpet run. The trick is to stay on as long as you can. So far, so good, but you can't help but laugh. Oh, here we go. This might help. Woo! It's hard trying to keep your balance. Oh! Oh! Ay, ay, ay. Not only does Kaikoura Adventure Park have heaps of awesome rides and a lot of fun, they provide a recovery centre for little fellas like this, amongst others. Linda, can you tell me a little bit about him and the other stuff you do?
This little guy is a little owl. They're the German owl. They were introduced to New Zealand in the 19th century. They're about the same size as the moorpork, but they have a different voice. And the easiest way to tell the difference is these guys have a flatter domed head rather than a rounder.
Oh, right. What else do you have around?
Okay, well, we've got a centre here with over 200 different animals, 70 different species. And many of those have been raised because they were young and didn't have parents to do the job. We've got emu, ostrich, we've got wallaby.
Well, you clearly love what you do. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful day here. Really enjoyed myself. Thank you very much for showing me around. And I'll let you get back to tending your flock.
It's been a real pleasure.
Sun was setting, it was rush hour time. Yeah, I got me an old car, it run pretty good. Gets me where I'm going, you know what I mean. Highway boogie, highway boogie.
Hi, I'm Ben Rutherford. I farm Montrose Station, which is an hour and a half north of Christchurch. I run the place with my wife and 3 children.
Wow, beautiful country, Ben. How long has your family been associated with this part of the
My
land?
great-grandfather bought the property in 1876. We've had it for a day or two.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Handed down through the generations, and
Yeah,
hopefully we can do it again.
that's right. How's it looking?
Well, we've got a team here, so
Yeah, that's okay.
one day they might.
Yeah, so how many hectares have you got?
Originally, when they bought it in 1876, it was 44,000 acres. And now Jenny and I farm 2,500 hectares. Here we run 4,500 Romney ewes. We had a Corriedale base 15 years ago, and we've changed to the straight Romneys, and they've suited our country really well.
Where do they all end up?
They go all around the world to the markets that the Alliance have through this Pure South brand. No, sheep and beef's a good lifestyle for us, and there is a lot of dairy in the area, but our farm suits the sheep and the beef cattle, and it all seems to work pretty well. Alliance has served us well over the past years. I've dealt with them since I've been home for 15 years, and my father was dealing with them before that, and we've had a really good relationship with them.
Oh, well, thanks so much for showing me around, Ben.
Thanks for coming, and nice to meet you, Richard. And I think you might be after this.
That's exactly what I came for. That's wonderful.
Safe travels.
There's nothing like getting fresh fruit and vegetables from a roadside stall. Hopefully I get lucky, pick everything up on the list in the same place. Ladies?
Hi.
Hi. I'll just take these, please.
Right, is that everything you needed?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for letting me invade your kitchen and cook this bit of lamb this afternoon. It's really very good of you. Now, also some wine to go with it. Now, Chardonnay does seem like a really good suggestion. You've got these two here, different years. Tell me a little about them.
Okay, well, we've got 2 years, 2009 and 2010. They're both barrel fermented, and they both won an award in the Canterbury Wine Awards. And the 2009 is drinking a little bit better because it has a little bit more bottle age, and the 2010 is a wee bit fresher.
What do you say we try them?
So that's our 2009.
Right.
So you'll notice with that, with the extra bottle age, is that butteriness come out in it, but it does have really good balance. 2010, this is not fined, so with time it will be extremely good wine, but a lot fruitier and a lot fresher than the 09.
Yep, I think I like the roundness and butteriness of that 09, so if I may, I'd have a bottle of that.
Certainly can. Here we go.
Thanks, Cheryl. Better get cooking, eh?
Never thought I'd see myself doing this, bungee jumping. It's my first time. I'm throwing myself off the ferry bridge here in Hanmer Springs with Thrill Seekers Bungee. Not too sure how I feel about it. I was lying. I'm packing myself.
Nothing to worry about. Easy.
He says with a smile.
I jumped out of the Jaguar to the back alley bar. Seen honey so fine it raised my radar like a 50-50 bar. See, I'm half and half. Cool on the outside, but keep my foot to the gas.
Bungee!
Well, not sure how I feel about that. It certainly gets the heart pumping and I'm out of breath. I don't know why. It was everything I thought it'd be, to be honest. The hardest part for me was the initial jump, the diving out into who knows what. Water comes pretty quickly and then you kind of lose track until the harness grabs you and everything's, you actually feel a little bit safer again. But boy, it was fun. It gets the heart racing. Awesome, Gavin. Thank you very much, mate.
No worries at all. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, will do. Not a hard day at the office, I see.
Yeah, it's always tough for me. You got that shopping for me?
Yep, bag full of stuff for you, mate.
Good out.
Saw Cheryl around the corner. She invited me down for a spot of wine tasting, so I'm going to go and enjoy that. I'll leave you to it.
I recommend it. It's very nice. See you in a minute.
Cheers.
Okay, today, more pure South lamb rumps. I'm going to do a dish that, well, it's a wee bit experimental. It's kind of a combination of recipes that I found out of these two old books. They're kind of classics. Mary bought a little lamb and this is how she cooked it, a very famous New Zealand lamb cookbook. And this one, which is a bit of a charmer, Catering with New Zealand Lamb, put out by the Meat Board somewhere in the 60s. You can tell by the style, very flash. So it's a wee bit experimental, as I say. It's combining lamb rump and crayfish. First thing we're going to do is take these lamb rumps, cut them in half, beat them out and marinate them. I'll make the marinade first. I'm putting about a cup of milk in there. And then parsley stalk, which I'm going to smash up and bruise so that it's some of the sort of flavour gets out of it. Clove of garlic, just crush that, and some bay leaves. Milk has a wonderful sort of tenderising effect on meat. I'm going to whip into this pack. They're all beautifully even-sized, tender bits of meat. Now, I'm going to beat these out to be a wee bit thinner, a wee bit flatter, even thickness. I need a wee bit of baking paper. This is a good idea. You can use Glad wrap almost as well, but baking paper I think is a bit better. And then a rolling pin, wine bottle, meat mallet if you've got one. And then there's nothing pretty about this. It's noisy. You just bash it. Right, so that's all 8 of them bashed up, covered in the milk. Needs to sit in that marinade for, well, up to a day, really. So in the old tradition of cooking, there's one I prepared earlier, right there. So those are going to be nicely softened up, tender. We're going to get them out in just a minute. I have to make the other things because I'm going to crumb them. So I'm putting 6 slices of fresh bread in with about a cup or thereabouts of dried breadcrumbs. Tear it up in the food processor. I've just thought it's a good idea. A little bit of basil in it. It'll bring the whole dish together. That's whirred up now to a very even crumb. It's got the dried in there and it's got the soft, which fries up to a nice crisp crumb. And it's got that wee bit of basil smell, which is going to make it just fantastic. Put that into a wide dish like that. I've also got some seasoned flour here. I need a little bit of egg to go with it. 2 eggs into a bowl. A little salt and pepper. And it makes a crisper crumb if there's just the tiniest drop of oil in there as well. And then I'm going to whisk that up, just like that. Now all I have to do is crumb all 8 of these. So beautiful. They were already tender, I must admit. You know, these rumps, they didn't need bashing to make them tender. They just need bashing to make them the right shape for what I'm wanting to do. Into the flour, you could take a little bit more of the milk off, but I'm in a rush. I want to show you everything as quickly as I possibly can. Into the egg, into the crumb, into a little dish like that, because we want to refrigerate these for an hour, hour and a half. The longer you can do that, the better the crumb sets on the outside when you fry it, and so you get the crumb well and truly adhered to the lamb, and you've got a beautiful lamb schnitzel with a wee hint of basil on the outside, and it's picked up some of the flavour of bay and garlic from the marinade and is melt in the mouth tender. People always will phone you when you've got your hands in crumb, and then you transfer great lumps of eggy crumb to your telephone. Right, so they're all crumbed. Need to set up in the fridge for a wee bit, an hour and a half. Now we're going to deal with our friend the crayfish and make a bit of a sauce to go with it all. It's a very simple basil butter. I put in leaves of basil. I just guessed at an amount, 2 cups. Sounds like a good amount. That's not a compressed 2 cups or a lightly compressed 2 cups, but just a big lump of basil. It's all about the basil flavour. It's going to bring together all the components of this dish, I believe. Okay, so butter, that's about 100 grams, roughly speaking, in there with it. I want a clove of garlic as well. We're not wanting to process this until it's sort of a green slurry. I'm happy with that. You can see that's just all nicely bussed up. I can still see bits of butter. There's probably the wee chunk of garlic in there, but the basil, there'll be leaf fragments visible when I use this as a sauce. Right, now it's time to deal to our friend from Nin's bin. I'm just going to use the tail meat for this recipe. I want 8 medallions of tail meat to sit on top of my little schnitzels of lamb. And don't worry, I'm not going to throw away the body. It's going to go in the fridge and I'm going to make a lovely bisque or a sort of a stock to make a seafood stew with. But for this meal, it's just the tail. So I pull it out. Came out very nicely. Happy with that. So I'm now going to slice this up. Now we're really getting into the medallion bit. 1, 2. This in the fridge, and then we're ready to get cooking the lamb. So I'm putting a couple of these schnitzels, lamb rump schnitzels, into the pan that I've got to pretty much exactly the right heat, or what I'm hoping it will be. It's not too hot to burn the crumb, not too cold as so as it doesn't brown it. It's important we get a brown, crisp crumb, the lamb cooked right through. Right, well I think these are done. Time to get into the action. Onto the plate. Just like so. Now I'm going to dress these up, basil leaf on each, then a slice of Nin's crayfish on top, and then it just keeps getting flasher. 2 cherry tomatoes into the pan, we're just going to roll those around. Right, so those are just perfect. You see the skin split and there's a bit of tomato juice bubbling out. Sit them on top. We're going all aerial on this. So now there's going to be a wee bit of sauce over the top. Remember we made this basil butter. There's a little bit of garlic, there's basil, there's butter. We also want a wee squeeze of lemon and a magic ingredient, a bit of brandy. Makes it taste sort of old hotel style. Stir it around. Alcohol's all cooked up. Brandy, lemon, basil flavours have all combined. Spoon it over the top. Boy, these pure South quality lamb cuts are going to make a great dining experience for our diners tonight.
Hello. Good evening.
Hi, hello.
That looks sensational.
Right. Well, bon appetit. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Cheryl and Richard. It's very kind of you to have me messing up your kitchen.
And here's to the success of your wonderful winery.
Yep.
Thank you.
Here's to it. So, Richard, you're the Hanmer local. Tell us.
Yes, I was born in Hanmer a very long time ago. But I went away for a short holiday and came back 32 years later. But I've been back for 12 years. So I've seen Hanmer through all its phases. From a small country town that used to welcome visitors to what's now really a big tourist town, where everybody derives, almost everybody derives their income from the tourists.
And an awful lot of people moved up to Hanmer from Christchurch post the collapse.
Quite a lot of people came up after the quake, but a lot of them have gone back again now. Yeah. But builders from Hanmer have moved to Christchurch.
Yeah. Well, the scale of the economic opportunity that's coming up in the city now is just really starting to move. But I don't think people have really come to terms with just what it's going to mean for the local economy, for Christchurch, but for Canterbury, and it's going to impact on the GDP of the whole country. So it's a stunning moment, although there's been an awful lot of pain to get there.
I think quite a bit of that will flow over into Hanmer as well, in terms of people. It still remains the closest and easiest place to get to from Christchurch if you want to get away for a day or 2 or 3 days.
Well, I'm enjoying this. It's really lovely. Just realised that eating great food and having great conversation, it cannot happen simultaneously. It was worth the journey up from Christchurch to get here today. It didn't take very long, Richard. Very, very good road. Lots of it are very straight.
Yeah.
And the locals are all very friendly on the way, as I've discovered. But it's pretty beautiful to be up here.